Now, in the book of Luke, chapter 1, I actually was looking at chapter 2, and I just noticed that the eighth day is also in chapter 2. Uh, but I usually reference chapter 1. But let me go ahead and read chapter 1. First, 50, let's start at verse 59. Okay, because you want to. This is when the circumcision of Yachaniah, John the Baptist, is recorded, and at the same time, 6 months later, it shows the circumcision of the Messiah, which is recorded. Luke 1, 59. And it came to pass that on the 8th day they came to circumcise the child, and they called him Zachariah, after the name of his father. Okay, so that was the Sabbath. On Luke 2, I noticed something. But anyway, Luke 2, verse 21. And when the 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, his name was called Yahshua, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days of her purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to YAH. As it is written in the law of YAH, every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy to YAH. So, this is the circumcision of men. Now, this testifies that the lunar Sabbath, which the brother is actually showing, is correct. The lunar Sabbath calendar structure that he's showing is correct, because it is testified that the Shabbat is on an 8th day, as well as the 7th day. Here's the understanding. This is why in Genesis it states that after a day was complete, it was from evening to morning. After the second day was complete, it was from evening to morning, because the evening of the 14th, going into the morning of the 15th, is the beginning of the Shabbat. The evening of the 7th day, YAH, going into the 8th day, is also the Shabbat. So this testifies, the misunderstanding comes when this testifies that is true. The scripture testifies that is true. Even Genesis. The misunderstanding comes when, like the brother was saying, when we tend to think that a day ends at 12 o'clock midnight. Well, we tend to think that the day begins at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. That is, in fact, incorrect according to YAH calendar, when a day ends and begins. So that's how it throws you off. But I want to read something from Joshua, but I'm going to go ahead and let the brother finish his presentation. I was going to read something from 1 King, but he made that presentation for us. Let's see where he goes with this. And with discernment, let's listen on how he debunks himself. Transitional day.
Not biblical. Where are all these extra days at in the Bible? Why don't we see these transitional days mentioned anywhere in the scriptures. The reason is because that is a man-made doctrine. There is absolutely no verse in the Bible that talks about transitional days where the moon is dark and therefore those days are not counted as actual days. That is nowhere in the Bible. That's just
Of course it's not in the Bible.
It's one of the many problems with the lunar Sabbath. However, it's a problem that can't be fixed because it happens every month. There's always 1 or 2 extra days at the end of every month before the new moon comes in again. Always. Now, if those days are not real days, what do you do on those days? Do you rest? Do you work? Where are the instructions in the Bible of what to do with these extra days? There are no instructions because this is a man-made doctrine. Now again, according to the lunar Sabbath doctrine, the weekly Sabbath can only fall on the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th day of every month. So if I'm able to show the weekly Sabbath in the Bible even once on a different date, the whole lunar Sabbath doctrine falls completely apart. So let's do it. This is 1 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 5. It says, "And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the 3rd day at even." So this was the day before the new moon. And at this time, King Saul hated David, and David knew it. So he told Jonathan that he was going to hide out in the field until the 3rd day. Let's jump down to verse 18. It says, "Then Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty." Verse 19, "And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly, and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand, and shalt remain by the stone Ezel." Now, let's jump down to verse 24. It says, "So David hid himself in the field," watch this, "and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat," meaning King Saul sat down to eat. So this is new moon day, the 1st day of the month. Verse 25, it says, "And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty." Verse 26, "Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought, Something had befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean." Now, watch this. Verse 27, it says, "And it came to pass on the morrow," this is the day after new moon day, it says, "which was the 2nd day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to me, neither yesterday nor today?" So here we see that the day after new moon day was the 2nd day of the month, according to the Bible. So that proves that new moon day is the 1st day of the month. So, at this point, it's the 2nd day of the month, and David still didn't show up to eat. So Saul gets mad at David and threatens to kill him. Now, let's jump down to verse 34. It says, "So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the 2nd day of the month. For he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame." Verse 35, "And it came to pass in the morning, that Jonathan went out into the field," watch this, "at the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him." Remember, they had planned to meet on the 3rd day in verse 5. So that's what's happening now. Let's jump down to verse 42. It says, "And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, rose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. So David left. Now, let's pick it up at 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1. It says, Then came David to Nob to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, Why art thou alone, and no man with thee? Verse 2. And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, The king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee. And I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. So David told the priest that Saul sent him to do some business, but actually David was on the run. Now, watch what David says next. Verse 3. Now therefore, what is...
Okay, now, the brother starts to lose his bearings. He goes probably 10 minutes reading the whole scripture. So we're gonna cut that scripture short. He actually proved that the lunar Sabbath was correct, and he actually proved that new moon day counted as the first day of the week, and he actually proved that the second day counts the day before the new moon. Then you continue to count 7 days going into that week. So we're not going to have to debug any more of what he said, because he basically debunked himself 15 minutes into an hour video. So I would like to end this video. Actually, I was going to read Joshua. Basically, Joshua's story was when he... Give me a second. Yeah. Joshua's story was when he commanded the sun to stand still and the moon to stand still. And it stood still almost all day. So, looking for I said. Okay, so that was the only time when YAH stopped time. And that's also a testimony to us that it is YAH that controls time. It is YAH that controls his feast day, his appointed time, his appointed feast day, his appointed Sabbath, because they are his. So we are commanded to follow him, not follow the specific day of the week according to the Roman Gregorian calendar. Now, I'm going to read Isaiah 66. We're going to close this video. I tried to keep this video as short as I possibly could, but I wanted both sides to have a chance to have the floor. So, thank you for bearing with me. I hope with this video you were able to learn the discernment of, or the understanding of Genesis evening to morning. And I also hope you were able to understand what the Messiah meant when he said he was Lord of the Sabbath. And I hope you understand that the moon and the sun, not just the moon and the sun, both give us our set apart calendar, our set apart days and time in which we are to function under YAH's command, because that's how YAH tells us what we need and what we don't need to do. See, the thing about the evening to morning establishment in Genesis is, from evening to morning, you are already at rest. So that's not a command when you are resting at night. It is a command during the day, from evening to morning, and then you rest going into that day. So that's the understanding of that. But I'm in Isaiah 66, let's go ahead and close this with YAH's command, YAH's word. Isaiah 66, verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith YAH, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh, every knee will bow, shall come to worship before me, saith YAH. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be in the abhorring of all flesh. So, that ends this video. The understanding of the true Shabbat. I do have another video, the understanding of the lunar Sabbath, in that video. Y'all bless. May y'all be with you. Shalom. Shalom.